Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Finish the Line podcast. Joined again by Tom. We've no Dave today. He just broke up with us, abandoned us, and not on anymore.
Glad to see you've toned the dress down a little bit this week.
What?
The hair isn't up. The hair isn't up. The shirt's off.
That was. I didn't realise it was meant to be like this, but I forgot. Well, I was in a rush. I do this, and then I push it back down. I pushed it up, and I forgot to push it back down. But anyway, Jimmy Neutron hairstyle and all that. Johnny Bravo.
It was entertaining for the rest of us anyway. So.
Look, I've had worse hair days. Let's be honest about it. Enough about my hair now. Right, before we touch on Irish Oaks this week, we'll just go back on the July Cup last week. So, Oxted, very impressive. Well, I think it was very impressive. Took the step up in the Grade 1 company, beat good horses. Take it on face value?
Would I? Yeah, I would. I think he was very good. I think they were saying afterwards they've always thought a lot of him, and he, his form, he looked quite good there last season at the start of it. Maybe lost his way a little bit, and then won a nice handicap at Doncaster. But he won well at Newmarket in the Group 3 that he won first time out this season, and this was obviously a step up again. Skeptical. We've spoken about. I mean, we kind of said before after Ascot, I was saying I think 5 furlongs would be his trip. I think he's got that high cruising speed, and he's got that little change of foot. It sounded after this, Dennis Hogan said they're going to come back and go for the Nunthorpe, I think. And he was like, yeah, look, we'll have to take on Batash. I don't know if the track to be taking him on, but I'd certainly like to see him take on Batash at Ascot, because Batash was good this year, but he was getting tired towards the end, and I think if Skeptical could keep up with him in the early stages, I think he'd give him one hell of a race. I wouldn't be worried about him taking him on at all over 5. I'm really looking forward to that. Golden Horde ran well, first time against older horses. I wouldn't knock him really. It was a good run, and I'd give him another chance. Other than that, I mean, Fret was disappointing again, wasn't he? I mean, yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. I think he's not looking like a Group 1 horse in a minute, but I think the performance from Oxted was very good, and what backs it up is the horses who were in behind him. The horses who finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th were all fancied horses. So I would be inclined to take the form as it is, and I'd be very interested to see where he goes next.
There's talk from going to the Nunthorpe as well. About 2 days ago, I seen something wrote about that. So it's looking like Oxted, Skeptical, and Batash are going to all line up together on that. I think as fast as Batash goes, I think it could play into Skeptical's hands the way he travels behind and on the pace. But do I think he'll beat him? No. Do I think he'll go close? I'll rephrase it. Do I think he'll beat 100% Batash that turns up in a good humour? Not a chance. Do I think he'll beat a 90% Batash who couldn't be arsed? Probably, yeah. But do I think he will be first place with Oxted? Hard to say, because it didn't look a fluke. It's not like he was never threatening to put in the performance like that. As you said, he won a very good handicap last time before this, and the Group 3 as well. The form is there. He won well. That was the plan from the July Cup. So they missed Ascot, which probably is a blessing in disguise. But do I think they'll all beat Batash? No. Not a chance. 100% Batash beats him.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll price it up. Batash will obviously be favourite, but just how close they'll put Skeptical to him. And then Oxted is thrown in there as well. I'd have Skeptical a shorter price than Oxted, just because he's gone and done that twice now.
Back down at 5 furlongs, you'd have to put him in, because you're going on 5 furlongs. Everyone's saying 5 furlongs is his optimum trip. He stretched to 6 furlongs on good ground. I just seen twice before. But 5 furlongs, end-to-end gallop. Like, the fact that Batash goes so fast and he stays 6 furlongs well enough might actually play to his strength, but it's Batash at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be backing Batash anyway, but I'd be interested to see what price they put Skeptical in at against him. So.
Yeah.
A good, just to point on Oxted as well, it's good to see Kieran Fallon keeping the ride. He's turned into a proper little rider. And good to see a small team like Roger Teal doing well and having the faith. I'm sure they could have booked someone else for Oxted if they wanted to. But yeah, really good to see them keeping the faith with Kieran Fallon.
It just goes to show what happens when you actually keep a jockey on that knows the horse.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I was happy enough, that he gave him a very good ride, and if he's done that the time before, he knows the horse. I mean, he's got a £3 claim, but like everyone can say now, oh, he rides Group 1 winners. I mean, you can't ride Group 1 winners unless you get the chance to.
Yeah. And he's probably going to go under the same probably category as Joseph. Oh, his father's Joseph O'Brien. Oh, his father's Kieran Fallon. He's obviously going to get rides like this. He's not, though. If you're not good enough, you're not going to be able to sit on these horses. And he's proven himself at a young age that he can handle the pressure. He can do it on a big stage. Give the chap a chance. Same with Tom Marquand. On English King, he did nothing wrong. And decided to throw Frankie on. What happened? Nothing. Like, give the lad a chance.
When you see Aidan O'Brien putting up with guys who don't have many rides a year, like you're looking at Kieran Fallon and Tom Marquand, they're riding at the top of their game. Especially Tom Marquand was riding at absolutely the top of his game, off the back of riding a Dave in Group 1s, on the back of a Royal Ascot winner, at the absolute top of his game. And they wouldn't give him the ride in the Derby.
Yeah.
And then you look at Aidan O'Brien giving lads the chance who are having 20, 30 rides in a year.
Yeah.
Like Killian Hennessy is a very good jockey, and he rode a winner for him at Dundalk the other day. And I think he hadn't ridden a winner in about nearly knocking on 2 years. Like, he'd only had a handful of rides, but he wasn't afraid to say, "Here, go on." And on a horse as well, that he said, "Go on, go off and out, make the running," and he did that very well. And you look at like Emmett McNamara, obviously a massive role in Ballydoyle, and the same with Padraig Beggy, massive roles within the yard. But they've been given the opportunity to ride in the races then, and they haven't let them down at all. And they're both Derby winners now. So I still can't get my head around the Tom Marquand thing. If it was a claimer, possibly, but I just can't get my head around it. Someone riding at the top of his game and he didn't get a chance. And then you've got the likes of the lads who play massive roles in yard, but they're not riding day in, a day out, and they're getting the opportunities. Says a lot about the people putting them up, I suppose, doesn't it?
There's a lot about the people. Yeah, took the words out of my mouth. Just goes to show what kind of some people think of other jockeys and people in general. I think it was an absolute disgrace. Just my opinion. Like, as you said, Aidan O'Brien has given Padraig Begley, Emma McNamara, Michael Hussey, and all fellas like these chances on Group 1 horses. Like, you're only as good as the horse you ride, but then there's skill does come into part to play with it, but you're never going to know until you get these chances. And hats off to Aidan O'Brien. He does it year in, year out.
Yeah, I think it was the fact that it happened to somebody who is, in my eyes anyway, potentially going to be a champion jockey within and maybe within the next 5 years if he gets the right job with the right rides. It wasn't like it was a no-hoper jockey who rides 10 horses a year kind of job. It's a top class jockey. So look, I don't know. It is what it is. It's done with, but yeah, it wouldn't be for me anyway. I'd leave him on. Right,
on to the weekend's racing. Irish Oaks weekend. So we will start with that. 7:15 on Saturday evening. So the field is final decorations are in. So Cayenne Pepper 2-1 favourite. Ennis Timon 5-2. Snow 6s. Even so, 12 and 14-1, bigger arrest. Dare I say you're going to go against Ennis Timon?
No, I'm not going against Ennis Timon. I think we were saying the other day in our chat there about how she made that mid-race move. I think the reason Shamey did that is because he could see the 2 horses in front coming back, and I don't think he wanted to get caught back behind them. So he made the move. Mid-race moves like that don't help horses' chances, basically. She got well beaten by Love, but as we've spoken about, we think Love is a freak, and I still can't see. Aidan O'Brien came out in the week just on her and said she's going to go to the Yorkshire Oaks, isn't it, at York, and
straight to the Arc,
and then to the Arc. Yeah, look, I'm going to keep topping up on her for the Arc anyway. I just don't think anything's going to give her weight. So no harm in Ennis Diamond being beaten by her. She reversed the form of Frankly Darling. Look, I'm going to go with her.
Yeah.
KM Pepper was very good. I put her up against Magical as in our video. I thought she ran a lovely race. I thought she blew up and then she ran on. That was really encouraging. I'm a massive fan of hers as well. I'm going to stick with Ennis Diamond just at the prices. I can see I've got some Ladbrokes prices in front of me here, and they go 5-2 Ennis Diamond. I mean, I know it's not for everyone. We've spoken about it before. I know I said it about Gaia.
Here we go.
I'll back her each way at that price. There's, in my book anyway, she's better. I think she's a lot better than Snow. And then you've got Even So and the Burnham. The one that stands out there, a wild price, is New York Girl at 20s.
Oh, you leave it go. Every video you're tipping her up.
Oh no, I think she ran a fine race in the Guineas. Outclassed then in the Derby, but I don't mind that. She still finished a respectable 7th. Yeah, no, I just looking at the prices there, I think that's a bit overpriced.
It is a big price for the races she's had to be thrown into.
Yeah, she's been thrown in the deep end in a couple of big races. I thought the Burnham ran well the last day. I backed her.
I backed as well. I just didn't think she wanted to go past. She was so green, she didn't know what to do. It was like she just wanted to get up next to the lead horse and just go the same pace. She had plenty of time to go past in the home straight.
Do you know what? I don't even think it was that she didn't want to go past. I just think I think Even So stayed on very, very well. Even So had the rail. The Burnham was on the outside. She was very green. I don't think there'll be a lot between those two again. Do I think New York Girl could stay on and go past those two? I think probably. And then you're looking at Snow, Ennis Diamond, and KM Pepper ahead of her. It's actually quite a good race. It's a race I'm looking forward to. New York Girl at 20-1 is a bit overpriced for me, and Ennis Diamond, I would make her a bit short than 5-2.
I'd agree with Ennis Diamond. Come Saturday, I'd probably make her favourite. I could see her going off favourite. It's first time KM Pepper's actually going over 1-4, but the run against Magical and the way you said she kind of took a blow and ran on again, give you hope that she stay 1-4. But you have Ennis Time who's proven stayer, who has even though Coy and Pepper ran the same race that at Newmarket last year where Love was third. I think obviously Love is after improving God knows how much. But yeah, I think Ennis Time and it's hers to lose. I think this is the stepping stone for her to bigger and better things. The run in the Derby can be marked up, as you said, as her mid-race move she made to get out of the way of the oncoming traffic. It's no mean feat to be beat by Love 9 lengths. But as we think Love is an absolute freak. But yeah, and I take Ennis Time over Coy and Pepper to win. And LeBron, I think has a lot of potential. I think she will learn a lot from her last race against Even So. I think she will reverse the places. I really like her. She's very green the last day. 14-1 is a fair price to take each way, but she's rated 9. She's rated 113 Racing Post rating, and she has £7 of fine on Ennis Time and 9 on Coy and Pepper. But Yeah, I think she's good each way price, but for a win purpose, Ennis Time and all day, I really like the way she runs. That's one for me.
Yeah, it's just to say I just had a look. It's Paddy Power who have the 20-1 about New York there. Yeah, that's just too big for me for a filly that they have such a high opinion of that they supplemented her for the Irish Derby. That's just a bit too big. I think I'd make her more of a 12-1 chance.
Yeah, I think with our each way show, so I think we're just fighting for third place. I can't see the top two not being first and second.
Yeah, no, it is actually a really good race. It's just that's just the one on price. I think as you said, Ennis Diamond and KM Pepper, I think they will be vying for favouritism between them. I think their prices will be a lot closer than one bookmaker has them 13-8 and 5-2. I think they'll be a lot closer to that. They'll be a lot closer. The two joint favourites than that price says, and I just think 20-1 is the other price that's too big.
Yeah. So recap, I'm Ennis Time for the win.
Yeah, I'm having two selections. I'm having Ennis Diamond and I'm having New York Girl each way.
Yeah, I'll have LeBron each way then, or however it's pronounced. Right, same day, we go back in time. 5:45, the Group 2 Minstrel Stakes. I really, really like Lancaster. There's no prices, but I really like Lancaster House for this. I think he will be near impossible to beat, especially when Roman Ice is coming back in this, but notoriously needs his first run every season. So I think Lancaster House, on the back of his last run, beating Speaking Colours, who's gone on to win two races since over 6 and 7 furlongs. I think this fella go out in front and he'd be near impossible to catch.
Yeah, it's very boring, but I would be very, very inclined to agree with you. He hammered Speaking Colours the last day. Speaking Colours has won his next two, as we said. He's cranked that form. Romanized is the obvious one against him, but as you said as well, he can often need his first run. Slightly concerning that I know this is a bit of a messed up year, but slightly concerning that he's only seeing the track now. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they could have got a run into him somewhere else. I'm not sure, but
I think his season will be campaigned around winning that, going the same race he ran in France last year. What's called the Prix de, I can't remember the name of it, but it's on Arc weekend. I think his whole season will be geared around that race.
The race he won was one of a Group 1, the Jacques Lemarrois, I think. And then he was second to Circus Maximus in the Moulin on our weekend. So you're probably right. That is exactly probably what they're doing. They're aiming a season around that. That's why he's not back until now. I can imagine he's very much going to need to run. I imagine Lancaster House is going to be very hard to beat.
So that was quick enough. Lancaster House is probably my nap of the weekend nearly.
Yeah, obviously, he's probably going to be a short price, but he's going to be very difficult to beat in that race. Yeah.
Right, so we will kick on to Newbury now at 4 o'clock and a lovely little Group 3 sprint. 6 furlong Hackwood Stakes at Newbury. So we have Judicial 13-2 favourite. Summering Hand at 8. 9's the rest because there's a bucket load. Right, Tom, what do you make of this?
First of all, we'll give Dave's tip for him, will we? Because this is Dave's cliff horse now. Mum's Tipple.
Yeah.
Has he given up on him after his last run or not? No.
God no. He absolutely. He's convinced the thing is going to come in at some stage, and I'll do it, Dave. He has Brian Moore back on his back, who was on him when he won 11 lengths at York. But he'd beaten 29 lengths to the Guineas and then 14 lengths behind Golden Horde at Ascot. His thing has no chance.
He is what you call. This is why if you get a precocious 2-year-old, lads, if you're ever in the very, very fortunate position to own a 2-year-old who you think is precocious and goes and bolts up somewhere by 11 lengths in a sales race, and you get offered about £1 million for the thing, you sell it. You take their hand off. You even tell them you'll give them 50 grand back as a bit of luck money. You take their hand off and you sell the thing. He just does not look to have trained on for me.
No, not a chance in a million years.
He wouldn't carry any of my money. The one in this, I was going to give a small chance to because it's very open and competitive, is Repartee. Very good at Windsor, winning a listed race. Was third in a Group 2 behind Fret as a 2-year-old, who I know we're not massive fans of Fret now this year, but it was a good 2-year-old Fret. Second in the big sales race, then 300 grand sales race. That was last year, and now has come out and won snugly in a listed race at Windsor to a Racing Post rating of 104. And yeah, just at 9-1, I'm happy to take a little chance on him.
This is not going to be original, but I really, really like Judicial in this. His form this year is stacking up. He second Royal Ascot in the Racing Welfare Palace House Stakes, beaten by Far Above, who unfortunately isn't with us anymore, but James Tate taught an awful lot of that horse. He was beaten 3/4 a length in that. Then he went on to Newcastle and beat Brando a length and a half very, very easily. And then Brando kind of came out and franked that form in the July Cup last weekend, running a good race to come 5th or 6th. He strikes me as a horse that is... these sprinters, when they get in this kind of form, you strike while the iron is hot. And he's won. I know he's carrying 9 stone 10, but he's a big boy. And he's an 8-year-old. And some people say sprinters, as they get older, they keep improving and improving. He's not improving much, but he's in the kind of vein of form like where I'd be gladly taking an each-way shot at 13-2. Yeah, I really like him for this. And one at a ridiculous huge price is probably an awful shout. But it's this kind of race where something weird can happen. Tip to win. He hasn't shown any form since he ran in the Guineas, I think it was. But I get these kind of inclinations in some races, and every time I look at a race, I keep looking at him. And at 50-1, he could easily come into place because, like, I put it like this: I'd rather take 50-1 on him than 40-1 on Munce Tippel.
True. Yeah, I did actually. I looked at Tip to Win myself, mate. Just so out of form. I just couldn't tip him, and especially I couldn't tip him to win. But Judicial should run his race definitely, and Summergland as well. He should run his race. The two of them. The only
speaking of Summergland, yeah, you've a kind of connection with their owners lately.
We'll get to that at the end. I'm too excited about that, but yeah, I've actually only just copped that as I'm looking at who his owner is. I recognise the colours. Yeah, best of luck to Hamad Rashid bin Gadea with Summergland. Let's hope he wins for you.
You're not going to elaborate why.
No, we'll get to it at the end.
All right.
But yeah, the only thing with them is they could be
head on you, look.
They could be open to an improver. Now there aren't many. There's only 2 3-year-olds in this, one of which is Mum's Tipple, who I couldn't touch her barge pole. So that's why I went for Repertory. I just thought if there's a horse in here that could be a bit better, it's possibly him.
Yeah, I'm going to have a strong each way shot on Judicial at 13-2.
Yeah, it's fair.
Right. On to Sunday, and we go back to the Curragh. 3:45, the Group 2 5 furlong Sapphire Stakes. So if Alali, is that how you pronounce it? Alali?
Ali, I think, yeah.
5-4, Make a Challenge 2-1, Speaking Colour 6, Buffer Zone 13-2, and 12-1, Bigger Arrest. Guess who I'm putting up in this?
Ali.
No, Jesus Christ, no.
Who?
Speaking Colours.
Yeah.
I know it's his first run over 5 furlongs, But there's a lot of rain forecast on Saturday over here.
Is there? Okay.
There's a chance that there's going to be a shitload of pace. And I think the fact that he's a 6 furlong horse, he stay 5 furlongs strongly. If they go too fast, if the ground is heavy, 6-1 is a huge price. And I'm going to take a little page out of your book. I think it's an each way bet to nothing. I think he'd be placed at a worst.
Yeah, he looks like he's in good form in a minute, that horse. My only question mark over him was that's his first run over 5. I thought he was a 6 furlong specialist, but he actually stayed on there well over 7 the last day. Nothing against him whatsoever, and if we got a bit of rain, then yeah, I think it'd bring him right into it. And I think you'd see his price come in quite a lot if we did get a bit of rain. Ali was very good in the Curragh Challenge, a Group 3 at Sandown last time. Coming back to form, he's very good 2-year-old. Make a challenge. I've just got in my head he's better with a bit of cut in the ground. So if we are going to get rain, that's interesting.
Well, the one thing that worries me with him, he won was it an ace or somewhere like that at 2 runs ago. He bombed out a week later. He's at the win again. I don't know, the fact that he bombed after such a quick run and then won, in my head, you can't really, can you trust his running, his actual true running at 2-1? Could you go near that price?
Yeah, I think you just said it there right at the end. That's the key thing for me. Not 2-1. I would rather be back in Speaking Colours each way at 6-1 if we got a bit of rain than him at 2-1. Nothing against the horse. He was very good again the last day. But yeah, no, I'd take him on. The one, this is searching.
Okay.
The one I said I might give a bit of a chance to is Southern Hills, who is a bit of a price. He's 12-1 at the minute, best price. Won the Windsor Castle as a 2-year-old, which was very good form on soft ground as well. Was thrown in then, wasn't seen again, and was thrown in then into the Commonwealth Cup in Royal Ascot on his first appearance of the season. 7 for 16 in that. That wasn't a bad run at all. Went on to the July Cup last week and was just out the back the whole way on good ground. I think a bit of cut in the ground would see this horse at his best. I think that's definitely what we need to see for him if we were going to consider backing him. But just if he came back to his 2-year-old form, he would have a chance. I know, he's run a lot, but I was going to say that's bad of me now after slagging Mum's Tipple, but he ran a lot better than Mum's Tipple has in the Commonwealth Cup. So just if we got a bit of cut, 12-1, I don't know. I think all of the top 3 are beatable at some stage on their day. None of them are absolutely rock solid. So
yeah, I'd be inclined to stay well clear of Al-Ali. He's very in and out. Even last year, he won his race. He bombed out. He won. He bombed out. He had his first run of the season. He bombed out. Then he won, as you said, very well last time. But I couldn't take his form and trust. The same would make a challenge. Then we're into Speaking Colours, who I like, and then you go down the fact that Aidan O'Brien was willing to throw him in the deep end at Ascot and then in the July Cup, it speaks that he must be doing something right at home to be considered for these races. Because Aidan's not one to throw horses in races for the sake of it unless they're actually pacemakers or something like that. Where he's not. And going on his win at Ascot last year, he's 12-1's not a bad price at all.
I just said I'd throw him in if we got a bit of rain against the top 3, who I think are all beatable at some stage. Yeah,
there's question marks over a lot of them, so it's a race where a big price could pop up. Yeah. I'm keen on Speaking Colours each way.
Yeah, I'll take Southern Hills each way just for a bit of interest, but not a big bet at all.
All right, so the last one we are going to touch on is 4:15, the Kilby Stakes over 1 mile 1. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, it looks open on entries, doesn't it? I just could never back Fleeting. I just couldn't do it.
Too much of a bridesmaid.
New York Girl was entered in this, and I would have been very interested, but as we said, she goes for the Oaks. The one I'll go for is One Voice of Jessica Harrington's. Beats Snow on her last start, who has come out and won the Munster Oaks, and is third favourite for the Irish Oaks now on Saturday evening. And yeah, I just think if there's one there, she's probably going to be favourite, is she? But yeah, I'd be happy enough to stay with her.
This is again on the presumption that it's going to be kind of softish ground with the amount of rain we're due. Miss O'Connor for William Haggis, unbeaten. And all her runs have been on either soft or heavy. But I think she might go under the radar here, even though she is unbeaten because she hasn't been seen yet. She was entered in Ascot, but was taken out due to the ground as well. Depending on the price, I might go with her. But there's one Aidan O'Brien horse that she won in Killarney during the week, and she hadn't shown zero form prior to that, and she was thrown into a Lister race, so it's lovelier. To be thrown into a Lister race after not even winning her maiden must mean must be showing something at home, and she won that really well going away. I know this is a big step up from a Lister to Group 2, but at a price, she will be a price if she ends up declaring to run. I'd be gladly take a chance on her at a big price. If not, I nail my colours to Miss O'Connor.
I think Miss O'Connor would have a chance. William Haggis has a good record when he comes to Ireland. Just on Lovelier, she's a half sister to Winter, the Irish Oaks winner, or Irish Guineas winner even. So yeah, she's got a lovely pedigree, but I was wondering whether she would run because she only ran there 3 days ago from now. So you wouldn't know though, but yeah, she's shown massively improved form anyway.
So I'll go Lovely or big price.
Yeah, I'll take One Voice.
Right, before we get on to your news, we give our naps the next best. Nap for the weekend.
Look, price dependent, obviously. Lancaster House, I think, is a good thing in a minstrel stakes. And after that, I would be looking at Ennis Diamond.
Yeah, mine the same nap. Lancaster House and Speaking Colours each way if he runs in it. If not, Judicial each way in the 4 o'clock at Newby. Right. Go for it, Tom.
Yeah, so we hinted on our link to Hamad Rashid Bin Gadea and David O'Mara there a couple of races ago. But as a lot of you know, I've been talking about setting up a syndicate for a long time. A lot of you got in touch to register your interest, and a lot of you have signed up, and thank you for that. It's been absolutely fantastic to get that response. We've finally done it. We've got and bought a horse. I didn't mention this lad to you, even to you and Dave, Andrew, because I didn't think we'd get near him price-wise, but we bought Lamb Loom out at David O'Mara's yard at the Newmarket July sale. So we managed to get him. We got him for 7,000 guineas plus VAT and everything else. He goes into training with Joseph O'Brien. And I imagine, obviously, all has to go well, but his first target will be the Irish Cambridgeshire. Very high-class horse for David O'Mara. He's won 4 races. He's been rated as high as 94 on the flat. He's run to a racing post rating of 100. He's down to a mark of 86. He's won fresh. Goes to Joseph O'Brien. Very, very exciting. I think the first step, as long as he's shown Joseph something at home, which I cannot see why he won't be, first step would be to throw him into some of those Premier handicaps. I think Irish Cambridgeshire being the first one, and we'll see where we go from there. But he wouldn't be without his chance in a race like that either. So very, very exciting times. A friend of ours has been pre-training him for a few weeks while he was waiting to go for the sale, so he's come highly recommended. He's been in pre-training for 6 weeks or so he's cantering away. He's ready to kick on with. He gets to Joseph's yard tomorrow morning. He goes straight up to the hill. Absolutely cannot wait. Like, it's just so exciting to be able to be involved in such a big yard like that. Like, they've had so many winners recently even. And yeah, Joseph was delighted to get him. It didn't take long once he saw him to say yes. So yeah, we're really excited. Even you are, I think.
Me? No. If he doesn't win, I'll never forgive you.
There we go. Yeah, you'll be easy owners, I'd say, you and Dave.
So yeah, if anyone wants to get involved, the shares still left, and how would they contact you?
Yeah, we've got a good bit sold, thankfully. We're launching the racing club under the name Pimlico Racing. Myself, one of my best mates, Nathaniel, Nat, I can't call him Nathaniel with a straight face.
Wow.
Nat has been running a racing club, a couple of racing clubs over in the UK, and he also manages Andrew Boulding's Kingsclear Racing Club, the Mill Reef Silks. So he's lots of experience managing racing clubs. I've been on to him for a long time to do this over in Ireland, and we're finally doing it together. It's really exciting. We've got a good bit sold. We're launching under the name Pimlico Racing, as I said. That's a branch off of the club in the UK. You can get in touch with me. It's tom@pimlicoracing.co.uk, or hit me up on Twitter or comment below, and I'll try and capture the comments. Andrew will put my email below. And as we said before, the way this is set up is that if you pay your money in, and everyone pays their money in, and everyone receives a financial statement of the syndicate account at the end of every 6 months. So if there's money left in the account at the end of 6 months, that rolls on to the next year. And at the end of that year, then, along with all your prize money, you'll get paid out whatever is left in the bank account. You're also going to get registered with Horse Racing Ireland for your share. There'll be tickets to the races every time it runs, stable tours, days. We're going to organise days out, a bit of hospitality at the racecourse as well. It's going to be a really fun syndicate to be involved in. And as I say, the financial side of it, you're paying everything at cost price. There's a management fee is for our financial risk and for putting the time and effort in to run it, which has been a lot more time and effort than I could have ever really imagined. But other than that, everything is at cost price. So, I think we're the only commercially based syndicate in Ireland to be doing this that I can see anyway. There's some that run the same way, but they're larger shares. There's none that you can buy a share in from 2.5%. And also there's an initial buy-in fee, which covers the purchase, the sales fees, transport, commission, everything, and all training and running fees for the first 6 months. There's payment plans in place on that as well. So don't be put off by that if you see that as a large amount. You can pay that in installments. And after that, it's going to cost roughly €16 a week. That's after the 6 months. So, like, if you think of what you do with €16 a week, it's 3 pints of beer, 2 pints if you live in Dublin. But like we all
bet on something at Lingfield.
That's how I've tried to explain to a few of the lads as well. Like, a lot of us like a bet. A lot of us would bet €16 without the blink of an eye, kind of thing. Or, if we took €16 out of our betting fund every week, you can come and tour Joseph O'Brien's yard. You can go racing on the big days, because that's where this lad is going to take us. And you can live the dream, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win. I was saying to you the other day, but you wouldn't rule it out. Like, he's gone well fresh before, and he's going to an absolutely excellent trainer.
He goes on any ground as well, which is key when you're living in Ireland. He
goes on any ground, which is fantastic. He's been in David O'Mara's yard. He's a 6-year-old. He's been in David O'Mara's yard for the whole of his life. A lot of these horses kind of, they just spark a little bit of an interest back up when they switch yards. He won last season off of 83. He's got a very, very good form. We're really looking forward to it. And
even with the syndicate, it's not one of these syndicates where you're going to be sitting there, oh, do I have to enter competition to actually go see my horse? Everyone that actually goes in the syndicate will get to all the races, get to the race yard, all the days out, get to golf days where they get whooped by us. Everything is included. It's like it's. I've been in a syndicate before, and it's probably the best few days I've had at a race course before. Most nerve-wracking, don't get me wrong. Most nerve-wracking, but there's nothing like seeing your own horse running around a racetrack with all your friends around you, cheering them on. I'd highly recommend it. It's, as Tom says, €16 a week is nothing to majority of people.
Yeah, and like hopefully, like as I say, yeah, €16 a week. Once you've got the initial fee paid, which can be broken down to about that if you wanted to, and once we've got that sorted, it's €16 a week. Anything that's left over is coming back to you. It's something I'm really excited about. And as I said to you, we were looking at how to do it before for a number of months, and this is the best way. I can stand over it this way. Everyone gets their share registered with Horse Racing Ireland. You get an email from Horse Racing Ireland to say how much of a share you've bought and that you're registered. I think we're ticking every box that kind of way for being just, an above board, fun, good, well-run syndicate. We've got this syndicate management experience there. We've bought a horse very, very cheap. I thought you could add 10 grand onto that price. That's why I didn't think we'd get him. You just get, as I say to you, Andrew, we tried to buy one the day before at the sales, thinking we might nick her for about 15 grand, and she made about 38, I think it was. So you just get lucky sometimes. And I think we have with this lad. He's the perfect horse for us to get started as a syndicate. We're really excited about him. All
roads lead to the Curragh.
Yep, fingers crossed. He gets the Joseph's Yard on Friday. He's been riding out in Newmarket this week, so he gets there tomorrow, and we'll kick on with him, and we'll see how he goes. But yeah, I mean, it's so exciting. We're gonna have a lot of big days out with this lad. He's got that handicap rating that could take us anywhere, really.
Exactly. Right. So, anyone wants to get in contact with Tom, I'll have his email, his Twitter, and everything else he needs in the description below. So just click down on that and get in contact with Tom. So,
and just to say, lads, like, feel free to give me a shout on it. Like, there's no obligations. If you have any questions to ask, any more information, just ask away. There's no obligations at all. Just give me a shout, and I'll let you know any info you want to know.
Right. It's going to be a good crack, lads. Highly recommend getting involved. So that's us done for another week. So yeah, we'll be back next week where I'll be on location. It's somewhere different. Right. Thanks again for watching, lads. Why are you shaking your head at?
I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. I'm stuck in Wexford.
I'll put up a photo after where I'm going. And anyone. Oh, that's good. So I've gone off track now. What are we talking about?
We're talking about you going away for a few days to your lovely little place abroad, you lucky sausage.
It's 3 weeks, actually.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
What?
I'm trying to work out how I can get away for one night. I took a day off work yesterday and went to a theme park. And I had such a good time, and my brain turned off from work that much that I need a couple of days off. So
it is, you need it.
I'm trying to work out where I can go, for away for a few days. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, that'll be Irish based, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. So on that note, we will see. That's Tom. Say bye, Dave.
Say goodbye.
We'll end on that. We'll see you again next week.
Brilliant. Hello.